Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig. It is Sunday morning. It is nice. It is chill. It is relaxed. I'm relaxed, at least. I don't know about y'all, but I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. I hope you guys are kicked back, relaxed. Maybe you're sitting there with your phone or your iPad or your tablet, and you're just, chilling on a Sunday morning, maybe getting ready for church or getting ready to go out shooting or fishing. Whatever you're going to do, I hope you guys are enjoying it. Do us a favor, please make sure to share this video feed with all of your friends. Do it right now. Don't wait, because obviously they want to be a part of the conversation. Obviously, if they're hanging out with you, I know they're good people. So if they're good people, I'm hoping that if you're hanging out with us, that you think we're good people. Good people ought to be connected with good people. Anyway, that's our big kumbaya moment of the day. So, getting into today's topic. Stand your ground law has been a pretty big deal ever since the whole Trayvon Martin incident. A lot of people believe, there are a lot of people out there who believe that no matter what, you should, before inflicting deadly force, you should be required by law to retreat or run or seek to get away from whatever it is that is threatening you. But I think more and more across the country, people are believing that, while it may be advisable, and I know that in the classes that I've taken, the courses that I've taken regarding firearms training, CCW, obviously, seeking to get out of a situation, seeking to avoid conflict, has always been one of the best options, or one of the first options. But there are some times when, immediate reaction is an immediate threat. No, retreating is not the best option. There are times, unfortunately, when defending yourself up to and including deadly force is required. And so we're seeing more and more states are passing laws relating to stand your ground, or basically defending your right to be able to defend yourself without having to first try to retreat. So what we've seen is in the state of Iowa, July 1st, they passed a law. They passed their stand your ground law. Well, there was a shooting that took place in August, a little more than a month later, which is going to put that law to the test. And so, and the interesting thing though is this law is going to take a little bit twist to the odd and the irregular, which we'll talk about in just a second. So let's first kind of find out a little bit about the story behind this particular measure.
A trial that could put Iowa's new Stand Your Ground law to the test is underway at the Polk County Courthouse in Des Moines. Lamar Wilson, 24, faces multiple charges in the deadly August shooting at the pedestrian mall in Iowa City. During opening statements, the prosecution claimed none of the three victims were armed when shots rang out at the popular Iowa City spot.
Unfortunately, in the early morning hours of August 27th, the peaceful, fun-loving atmosphere of the pedestrian mall changed. You'll hear the 911 call that came from one of the people who had been downtown when suddenly shots rang out.
Johnson County 911. Oh my God. Johnson County 911. Okay, there's somebody injured. Listen to me. I need you to calm down. There's somebody injured. I don't know. I ran away.
The defense said they won't dispute many of the facts of the case. They said this case hinges on whether Wilson felt his life was in danger at the time of the shooting.
We're not arguing that DeAndre Hicks was shot, Xavier Hicks was shot, or that Mr. Wilson is the one who fired those shots. The only question that will remain, and that's why this case is simple, is were Mr. Wilson's actions reasonable? Was he justified in using deadly force?
The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Johnson County District Judge Paul Miller said he will rule on whether Wilson should receive immunity from prosecution based on the Stand Your Ground law following the trial. For more,
So, all right, so that's where it gets bizarre. So in most cases, when it comes to the application of stand your ground, usually that is a determination that's made before there is a trial. In other words, the judge looks at the facts of the case as presented, and determines whether or not it is consistent with this individual. And once again, going back to exactly what the lawyer said, did this individual have a reasonable expectation that he was in danger? Would a reasonable person have assumed that they were in danger? Now, there was one thing that I will take note with the reporter in this particular story was that when they went through some of the findings, they actually determined that the defendants were not unarmed. In fact, when they confronted Mr. Wilson, they actually had firearms on. They were displaying firearms. Now, unfortunately, one of the individuals, or the individual who was shot and killed, he was unarmed, and that was because one of the alleged attackers, or whichever one to call them, attackers, or the guy who got shot, actually used this individual, pulled him in front of him, and used him as a human shield. Now, that individual was in fact unarmed. So now we'll fast forward. So the trial has begun. Well, here's the thing that now winds up happening. So now we're going through all of this. Let's take a look at what happened with the outcome of the trial, because now we have an outcome. And so now we have to determine what is going to happen next. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Coffee with Craig. It is Sunday morning. It is nice. It is chill. It is relaxed. I'm relaxed, at least. I don't know about y'all, but I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. I hope you guys are kicked back, relaxed. Maybe you're sitting there with your phone or your iPad or your tablet, and you're just, chilling on a Sunday morning, maybe getting ready for church or getting ready to go out shooting or fishing, whatever you're going to do. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Do us a favor, please make sure to share this video feed with all of your friends. Do it right now. Don't wait, because obviously they want to be a part of the conversation. Obviously, if they're hanging out with you, I know they're good people. So if they're good people, I'm hoping that if you're hanging out with us, that you think we're good people. Good people ought to be connected with good people. Anyway, that's our big kumbaya moment of the day. So getting into today's topic. Stand your ground law has been a pretty big deal ever since the whole Trayvon Martin incident. A lot of people believe, there are a lot of people out there who believe that no matter what, you should, before inflicting deadly force, you should be required by law to retreat or run or seek to get away from whatever it is. Immunity, well, then he probably should have. Probably should have been determined before the trial instead of after the trial. I don't know. That just seems kind of weird to me. But it'll be interesting to see how this whole thing plays out, because now the judge is going to go back and determine whether or not he's immune. If he's immune, well, then the whole entire trial was for nothing. So here we have a court system that clearly claims time and time again to be overburdened. Having said that, now we have a case here where the court is, could have potentially wasted all of their time if the judge winds up then eventually throwing out the verdict because this individual was immune under the stand your ground laws. Now, he's basing this on a state law, on a ruling on a state law from a couple of decades ago, like 1989, dealing with a child abuse case and an individual claiming immunity under state law. So it's not without precedent, but it is still kind of weird. To me, it seems kind of, it seems the evidence, everything seems kind of plain. It's like, look, if the other guys were armed, if they were brandishing firearms, then the individual did in fact feel like he was in danger. And if they had firearms and he was in danger, then he was right in defending himself. At least that's just, I don't know, that's just my perspective. I didn't hear all the evidence of the case, but that's my perspective. But it at the very least sounds like it ought to fit under the stand your ground law. I'll just say this, and I know that a lot of people have issues with stand your ground, and I just believe that it is consistent with the fundamental human right to be able to defend oneself, that one ought not be forced to give up that right simply because, well, other people feel like, you should preserve the life of the person who is attacking you. I think the loss of any life is tragic. Individuals who die, in a senseless manner, whether through as a result of their own actions or the result of the actions of others, is a tragic loss. Because that is a life that, even if it's headed down a wrong path, can't be turned around to go to turn onto a right path. But having said that, I also believe that even more tragic is the loss of innocent life, of individuals who are victims of people who are heading down that wrong path, simply and lose their life because they are not either willing or able to defend themselves. And that too is a sad, that too even more so is a sad, tragic loss, and one that ought to be recognized. And I believe that Stand Your Ground actually does. And what's interesting about that is that even in liberal states like California, that is the law. Stand Your Ground is the law in the state of California. There aren't many things about California when it comes to self-defense I appreciate. That is one of the things that I do appreciate here in California. Anyway, folks, that's going to be it for today's Coffee with Craig. I thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, folks, do us a favor. Remember, YouTube, Facebook, they don't like what we talk about. They don't like that we're sitting here talking about defending ourselves. They don't like that we put life and liberty ahead of criminals and gun control. So it's important that we spread the word so that they can't shut us up. How do you do that? Make sure first of all, you're subscribing to our YouTube feed. Make sure you like our Facebook page. Make sure that you are spreading the word to folks, letting them know about the Firearms Policy Coalition. For those of you who don't know, look, we advocate in California, we advocate in Nevada, Washington, Oregon, and we're expanding to a number of other states as well as Washington, D.C. But we can't do that without you because, hey, we are a grassroots-based organization, meaning we can't do it if you guys aren't with us as a part of the fight for civil rights. So join us, be with us, help us to fight against those who would seek to take our life and our liberty. Anyway, folks, you guys take care, have fun, stay free.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.